Working with my daughter's hair has taught me a lot about my own hair. And one thing I've learned is that our hair, type 4 hair, needs a growth aid consistently applied in order to thrive. And so my latest is Flash Soleil's hair lengthening oil. When I say this stuff is strong, this stuff ain't no joke. Take your hair to the next level. Go to fleshsoleil.com, fleshsoleil.com for their hair lengthening oil and other fine products for your hair and for your skin. Hey, folks, if any of you have in between 10,000 and 25,000 TikTok followers, please email me. I have an opportunity for you, a paid opportunity for you. We'll talk about it when you email me. So I'm looking for some TikTok brand ambassadors. So again, if you are a Black woman, let me start there, and you have 10,000, between 10,000 and 25,000 followers, email me and let's see how we can work together. So another day, another misrepresentation of the Black mother. When all else fails, blame the Black mother. And I saw this clip on TikTok and I saw some responses, and I just wanted to round out the conversation about what's going on. Let's see it and we'll talk. Hey, everybody.
Historically, women always married up. Wouldn't that mean that men married down?
Absolutely.
So men in that case would be settling, right?
A lot of men settle.
A lot of men settle.
A lot
I
of
agree
men,
with that.
a lot of men settle.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
A lot of women settle too. A lot of women, even a man who's very wealthy, he could still be unattractive. He can still be a bad lover. He can still have communication issues. You know, uh, every everybody settles when it comes to marriage. There are no perfect partners. There's no perfect partners. And women add so much value, which is backed up by data. And it's so much easier for a man to find a good woman that he's often getting a benefit when he marries. A woman, more, especially now, you know, if she doesn't pick wisely, she's often left holding the bag.
But see, there's a real conversation in that you ain't ready for. White women marry up, okay? And most of our sisters marry down, but you're not ready for that conversation. That could take you a whole other place right now. And I told you I've been drinking, so you might want to get that mic off.
So
Come out when you drink, though.
no, but let's explore though. Why do you believe that most white women marry up and minorities, Black women, marry down?
Because white women have been trained by their mothers to marry up. The man is supposed to take care of you. The man is the head of the household, where a lot of times, a lot of our sisters have been told that Black men ain't shit. You feel what I'm saying? I can do it for myself. I made it on my own. But you're not ready for that conversation. Get that mic off me because I've been drinking.
Do you think that is why in society it is sometimes deemed the angry Black woman is more masculine, whereas you see a lot of brothers getting with white women because they're more submissive?
Did you see the NBA draft class this year? It's a bunch of high yellow brothers like me and him in that class. So what you think? Absolutely.
So it's a lot he said, and it's a lot he didn't say. White women marry up because they can. White women marry up because they can. Okay? Black women often have to train their daughters to be independent because of the state of the Black man. He refuses to be productive. He refuses to come correct. He refuses to be an upstanding citizen. A lot of Black men are in and out of prison. And it's not just white women or white mothers being these better mothers, but you think about Disney. You think about the white propaganda machine. You know, very few princesses married down. None of them did, right? Ariel, Belle, Cinderella, they all married up. They all married the prince. Okay? Also, white men have made it easy for their sons to be put on. They've stuck around to raise sons, to be providers, to be protectors, which made it easier for the white woman to raise submissive daughters to be the wives of her sons, to be the wives of the sons she raised. So because older white men did their job, it made it easier for her as the mother to train her daughters to fall in line, to fall in line. Black men want us to raise these submissive, wilting flowers with no man in the home, with no infrastructure for the kids, absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. We're not, when people compare, and that's why I say Black women, you got to stop judging Black men on a curve. Okay? Because they're not considering the circumstances. White women and Black women don't have the same experience. They don't have the same resources. They don't have the same men. And so that's why they have to parent differently. That's why they have to train their daughters differently. Okay? Black men are not comparing you to other Black women. They're comparing you to white women, Hispanic women, and Asian women who have a totally different culture, paradigm, body type, everything. So why are you judging Black men on a curve? And you know, he's a good Black man compared to all the other Black men. No. But he would be a bottom, but he doesn't compare to his white male counterparts. He does not compare. Okay? And it's not just the Black mother who feeds this machine to marry down. You know who we often, Black men also tell Black women to marry down. Kevin Samuel's whole platform was you're not good enough to marry up. His whole platform, where he talked to women who were educated, who owned their own homes, who made six figures by themselves, his whole platform was telling them they're not good enough to marry up. That's what his claim to fame is. And how much propaganda do black women get? Oh, you know, he may be rich, but he's not going to treat you right. Or the wealthier Black man is often whitewashed. He's corny. He's a Republican. He's not really Black. Black men also encourage Black women to marry down. It's a part of the machine. Here's a pastor encouraging the women to marry down.
Women are making is when you're looking for a perfect guy, no issues with them. He's wonderful. He's dark and handsome, tall, white and handsome, whatever colors you like. He has to have a job. He has to have a car. He has to have a house. He has to have money in the bank. He has to have muscles or things that are on your checklist. It's all wonderful. I get that because you're looking for a perfect man. And I'm telling you, this is where you're going to be disappointed. Because ladies, you don't really want a man to come in your life who's already great. That's very dangerous. Because when the man is already great, he has everything. He doesn't need you. That's why he will abuse you. You need a man who desperately sees you as a helper, sees you.
He wants you to build. He wants you to be a builder, what is it? Be a Build-A-Bear. Barbara the Builder. That's what he wants you to do. Get with a homosexual. Get with a man who needs you. He needs you because he's broke. He needs you because he's unemployed. He needs you because he can't get his finances together. Huh? So y'all can build this mythical empire. Black women are not raising their kids in a vacuum. They oftentimes get propaganda from Black men to encourage the daughters to marry down. But then this man wants to talk about Black women telling their daughters, you don't need no man X, Y, and Z. And oftentimes our mothers did that to protect us from Black men, from being taken advantage of by the men this pastor is talking about. That we got to bitch up and we got to be self-sufficient because there's too many pariahs in the neighborhood. There's too many pariahs and leeches and homosexuals in the Black community. The reason Black women marry down is because they have to if they want to stay in Blackistan. That's their choices. And Black women, that's your choice. If you want to stay in Blackistan, more often than not, you're going to have to marry down or be single forever. And some of y'all want that. Some of y'all want that. And you're encouraging others not to divest, not to take advantage of their options, but to stay single forever. And then you wonder why you're 60 and lonely, taking on somebody's pop, washing his fucking ass. You cannot, if you have a preference for peaches and the store is out of peaches and you go home and starve to death, that's on you. That store had bananas. That store had apples. That store had cherries. They had everything else for you to fill your needs. But you so stuck on stupid for a Black man because you want Black love instead of thinking with the brain that you paid for with all these damn degrees and exercising your options. Some of you are in places where there's so few Black men at all that it's impossible to just date within your clan. And then the men who are Black are not checking for you. The Black women get the leftovers. See, Becky she's marrying up within her race and she's marrying up with other races of men, which is kind of a lie. Because if white women were really training their daughters to marry up, we wouldn't see all these biracial kids. Let's start there. So somewhere along the line, the white mother is failing. If you got all these biracials on wicked welfare, you got all these biracials on the foster care roll, you got all these biracials in the prison industrial complex, confused as hell. So somewhere along the line, white mama has dropped the ball. Okay, there used to be a type. Black men would get the plus size woman, plus size white woman. He would get the mentally ill. He would get no. What happened to Melania Gates? Melania Gates and Phoebe Gates is marrying a Black man? What she do wrong? What did she do wrong? Because somewhere along the line, white women have dropped the ball for all of these white women, good-looking white women. Just because somebody fat don't mean they ugly. Okay? Just because somebody got a little few extra pounds don't mean they don't got power on the sexual marketplace. And these white women are picking Daquan and Rufus and what? Mm-mm. All these posters with biracial women, with white women and their biracial children. Come get aid for the state. Come to the food bank. Huh? The white woman with the biracial child is now the poster child for poverty and irresponsibility. And it's black women living in luxury and soft life. So they married up all right. Becky has the luxury of not just her own man, but black men and everybody in between. So she can level up much easier. Easier. It's not impossible for black women, but she has it easier. But she's still fumbling the bag. Huh? She may marry up, but she end up in divorce court whole lot faster. She leads the charge in getting rid of men. So white mama doing something wrong. She ain't that submissive. She ain't that amenable. She can get married, but can she stay married to the men of her own race? Because she sure as hell don't want to have nothing to do with Daquan for too long. Our mothers telling us to shut up, get in those books, saved a lot of our lives. Saved a lot of our lives. But a lot of the reason we had to shoulder the burden is because the men in our race refused to. Refused to. It's easier for Becky to get a job. It's easier for Becky's son to get a job. It's easier for her to everything. So yeah, she can be more feminine. Yeah, she can be more submissive. She often is not. And white women may be submissive, but they're very manipulative. They won't cuss you out, but they'll do some passive aggressive shit that'll have your head spinning. And black women, we need to learn some of that. But part of the reason a lot of white men like black women and they like Hispanic women is because we call it what it is. White women are very sneaky. They will smile in your face and stab you in the back and won't think twice. So she may be sweet on the front end, but baby girl, oh, she may not cuss you out like a sister. Oh, but she can do some evil. She can do some evil. And part of the reason that black women have to raise their daughters to not need no man is because the black men of value see Becky as a reward, a trophy. And who do the black women get? The leftovers. Black women get the leftovers. And we're taught by black men and black women in leadership to marry down, because you know black men can't compete. Because you know black men are losers. What kind of mother, you're right, wants her to marry down?
Good evening, everyone. This is Pro White Male Leadership. I'm having a live tonight. This is live is very simple. This live is a discussion on how men intentionally create dysfunctional mothers, and this is particularly pertaining to the Black community. There has been a lot of talk about how Black women are the problem, and a lot of it has to do with our mothering skills. So today I'm going to present, you probably know him very well, Roadrunner 89, Swirl to Invest. He's going to speak about what he feels about this. Um, and that's basically it. I'm gonna have a live panel probably a little bit later on. But his opinion as a man, um, on what's really going on, and this is a discussion that I think that needs to be have. Um, so moving forward, I'm going to start in about 2 minutes. Just give me about a minute. You hear me, Brent?
Yeah, I hear you.
Great, great, great.
Oh,
Sorry
awesome.
guys if I'm a little discombobulated. Okay, so moving forward, you can basically take over. You're moderating this live. So basically, it's what it says here. I feel how men intentionally create dysfunctional mothers. That seems to be a very big problem that's been going on that a lot of men have been complaining about. So as a man, and I would consider you a leader, you have proven to be a leader. What do you think is really the problem?
I I think outside looking in, and we're talking about the Black community, Black women creating dysfunctional mothers. Uh, what I think the problem is, I think it's a cultural problem. I think it's a problem where, well, society, we have a problem. We're getting away from our morals, and we're getting away from the basics, away from marriage, away from family, and the way it's supposed to happen. And outside looking in, and this is my opinion, and from what I see, from my observation, is it seems that within the Black community, it's like everybody's on board to lift up the Black man. That's what I see, and it's like women have been conditioned to put these men on a pedestal. It's almost the opposite of what white men do with white women. You know, we coddle, we put them on a pedestal, we take care of them, and I think that's a big problem. And a lot of times you'll see these I call them beta kings making excuses why the community ain't doing so well, and these pick mishas that come in and create excuses, or try to make it sound like these men are not at fault, and it's crazy. It to me, I look at this and I listen on YouTube, and they'll go into, well, Black women aren't submissive enough. Black women, they need to do better. Black women need to do this and that. And when you look in the numbers, Black women are the least likely group to get married. But somehow it's their fault, and it creates dysfunction because these women have been told, to wait for that good Black man. Okay. And they've been taught Black love, right? You see it in movies, you see it, and it looks beautiful, right? Two Black people loving each other, and making it work. And when you have love, love is great, regardless of who it is. But it seems like Black women have been sold this dream. And a lot of times they're not getting that dream. you look at the marriage stats. 27% of black women are married in America. So 73 are not. Okay? And that might be a little bit skewed because black people do get married later on in life. But it creates problems. It creates uncertainty. And black women are having to hold up the family. They're, you know, it's like they're being judged for everything that goes on. And a lot of times black women are the leaders in the community. They're the single mother, they get taking care of the kids. They might have a boyfriend that comes in from time to time. But it's like it's opposite of other cultures where the man does it all. And we all have problems in our communities. But within the white culture, we still have marriage built into our culture, and the man is totally responsible. And if it gets messed up, it's the man's fault, which it should be. And I'm seeing this take place where women are, and black women have, a lot of emotional issues because of what they have to go through, what they got to do. And it seems like black women are, for some reason, um, you know, uh, given this task to take care of the family, uplift the man. And a lot of black women do this. They'll put other black women down. And, that creates so much dysfunction because women want to be loved. They want to be provided for. They want to be taken care of, and they should be. It's not a woman's job to be the leader of the household, and but that creates problem, and it's being accepted more and more every day. And I think the biggest problem, this is my opinion, is not so much the beta kings, but the pygmishas that drive this narrative home that it's not their fault. It's women need to do better. It's white supremacy. It's the white man's fault. And black women that get with white men, they're colluding in white supremacy. And that creates so much problems because black women are looking out. They're the most successful. And collectively, when we look at women, but they're getting worst results. And in this video, when Samantha Cooker, I think that's who that did the video, she was going in on Becky and, what's going on in the community. And you know what? Becky's making the same mistake. And, unfortunately, we're not, women are not getting the best option, and especially black women. And, men with these platforms telling women to date and marrying down, it's destructive, and it creates so much dysfunctional. So many women are dysfunctional because of that. Because so much emotion, so much work they have to do, and then they don't get credit for it. Even when black women lead the way with education, they're being told that their degrees do not count. They're the biggest entrepreneurs, but yet they have to settle for a man that makes less than her, that is less successful than her. And, the numbers aren't in black women's favor. Black women need to open up their options. They need to divest. And my opinion has evolved to where black women need to do this, and because the marriage rates are so awful, and a community can't go on where the women are raising the kids and leading the community, and the men are looking for women to take care of them. That's just going to create destruction, a lot of dysfunctional, a lot of delusion where women get to, it's kind of like you get used to your environment, so you think it's the way it is, and you just live with it. And unfortunately, black women could have so much better if they opened up their options. And she don't have to run to the white man. There's other races of men, other ethnicities, and black women need to do this because what's going on now is not working. And I think it's so much to where we are, where within the community, so-called community, it's like the men are being put on a pedestal. It's never their fault, and women need to fall in line. And black women should never be the second choice. These guys have preference, that's fine. But black women, you need to do the same. Go where you're loved, go where you're respected, and do not settle for anything less. Do not buy into this. You might find black love, but a lot of black women aren't. And let's be honest, okay? And I'm not an expert in this, but I do look at numbers. I do observe black women that I know that are single mothers that wanted to be married. And a lot of black women are out there. They'll email me and tell me. A lot of black women are at the point, they don't care what the man looks like. They just want somebody that loves them. And I think this is creating a problem too, because a lot of black women will listen to the KS, stuff, and will lower their standards, will be the breadwinner, will take care of that man and try to build him into a good man. And most of the time that don't work. It just doesn't. And then you got all this stuff going in, and black women have told me they feel like they're just supposed to sit and wait till the man gets it together while he goes with his preferences, while he goes with other women and has fun and does his thing. But black women aren't allowed. They're supposed to be race loyal and stay and wait. But a lot of black women are not being wifed up. They're not being married. I know women that are in their 50s and 60s, never been married. They've just had relationships, boyfriend and girlfriend, or being a fiance for several years. And ladies, you should not put up with that. If, months go by and he hadn't figured out whether he wants to marry you or not, you need to let him go. This don't take years to figure out. And by waiting on a man and waiting on the so-called black love, where you outnumber the men, and the men in your community date and marry out twice as much, ladies, seriously, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage, and it's not fair and it's not right. And if we all opened up our eyes, these men out there, white men, Asian, Hispanic, if they really looked at black women, they'd find a treasure. They would find a beautiful woman that would be a good wife, a good mother. And I just wish people would just open up their options to fix this problem. And, for so many years, for so long, I never really paid attention to this. I have a good life with my wife and we have a good family. But through the years, observing and having love and respect for black women, it's turned my heart to where something's got to be done. Black women need to open up their options. I mean, at this point, it's basically survival. It really is. Unless you don't want to get married. I mean, the numbers are not in black women's favor. Black women are outnumbered, and black women are shamed for even looking at a different man from our community. And if it's a white man, oh man, the ish is going to hit the fan. She's really going to be attacked. Some women say they gotta open up their options, divest in silence. And to me, no one should ever be silent on who they love or what they want to do with their life, if they want to leave the community, the culture, and go somewhere else, everybody has that right to do that, and nobody should be shamed for it. The problem is I think these men in this community are more worried about their image, how they look, and being looked at as being on top more, and they forget what's going on with the women in the community. They forget what's going on with the children. And how can you build a legacy not marrying the women in your community? How do you do that? You can't. All you do is produce hurt, anger, dysfunction, and you produce poverty. And I would say to black women, open that option. There's men all over. There's more than just black men. And you don't need most of the women or most of the men in a group to like you, to have plenty of options. 12, 13% is the black population in America right now. The biggest population is white. Second is Hispanic. And this is millions and millions more men. And even if a small portion likes you, that's still millions of choices, if you really look at it. But I guarantee most men love black women and would be willing to date black women. And when they get to know black women, they'd be willing to marry them. But that's my take on this whole thing. And listening to this video, she was going in, and white women are making a mistake too. They don't think clearly. They really don't. And maybe it's a societal thing. A lot of these women are just going and just having fun and thinking they're going to get the same result, the same community going in the black community. Or they're going to be put on a pedestal and be above the black woman. I think a lot of white women think that, and that's not what's going to happen. And if and I say this with all humility, okay? No man is perfect. But if the men in your community are only marrying 27% of you, you think he's going to change when he gets with Becky or Maria or Maylene? Because your character never changes when you date or marry out. You're still the same person, regardless. And we're seeing this take place. And I'm all for interracial relationships all the way, regardless of the combination. But you got to do it with love and respect. You got to swirl to investment. You don't swirl for just to do it. Okay? And I think a lot of times Becky and Tyrone need to get it together. If they're going to do this, they need to look for marriage and family and not just a good time and I think that's a problem. And when men are not leading, they can't fix it. Men have to fix it. They have to lead. And the thing of it is, and I blame men because black women are the most loving, the most nurturing, the women that have your back. Black women have always been there. They've done their part and then some. And the men the only thing they're doing is complaining and making excuses. And at this point, the victimhood, when you become a victim and you live with the victimhood mentality, you just turn yourself into a loser because if it's never your fault, you can never fix it. And that's a problem. And you see black women across the country that are single mothers, beautiful, loving black women. And to me, that's a problem. And this ain't racism. This ain't white supremacy doing this. This is black men doing this. But sorry, black men doing it.
Correct. No,
Oh, I'm
no,
getting.
I'm agreeing with you, Brent. Correct.
Oh, okay. No, it just that's my whole take on this, and it just seems that I don't know. We're getting an echo somewhere. Is that my
We
end?
are.
Oh, I was
Uh,
okay.
let's see. Oh,
Okay, yeah, but with this and that video, she hit the nail on the head. And women should always date and marry up. They should never go down. Okay, that for us men, we go at the level we get with the woman that's at our level or a little bit below. And the reason is we have to lead as men. And women have to be hypergamous because they don't have the same opportunities men do. You know, to have financial status, to have a good environment, to have a good home. Women have to look for a man that can provide, that can do this. I know there's black women out there that are well off and just killing it out there. But that's not the way it's supposed to be. If she's successful like that, the man should be where she's at or above. And a lot of times, black women are a step or two above what their men are doing. That's unacceptable. And relationships like that don't really work. I mean, there's always an exception to the rule. Not saying it can't, but it's just an unnatural thing. And naturally, as men, if we're not providing and protecting, we feel weak. Something's wrong. Something's out of balance. And then when the women has to take over, then the community just it don't work. I'm not saying these women aren't doing a good job. They are. But the thing of it is there's too much reliance on women. And black women are expected to do all these things, and she does them, and then she's constantly being told she has to do better. And that's a problem. And from what I see black women doing more than any other group of women. And if you study it in the collective, they are. But they don't get the credit like other women do. They get the stereotype. And it's coming from a lot of times men in their community or the pygmishas. It's like, I don't know. That's what I see. And, this video, a lot of good points were hit. A lot of stuff, a lot of truth there. And we got to look at this. And as men, we need to fix this. And I believe if men do better, women they will do better too because they'll have the opportunity. Women can't do better if
well,
she's a single mother and doing it
mhm.
all. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, my thing is that I just truly believe that, excuse me, that black women need to work with a different set of men that have a different culture and different values. Um, that's I think that the men are the problem, obviously, because there's a lot of things that's going on in the community that a lot of people on the outside don't understand because they don't understand. It seems like they're trying to act as if they're not encouraging black women to be single mothers.
Hmm.
That's what it seems that's what they're out here doing. Because if you do have any type of expectations of anything, that becomes you get a name for yourself in this community. So what's shocking to me is the fact that they're acting as if they're not expecting you to be with someone for years without getting married and building and stuff like that. That's something that I've never did. I've never did that. So I've always dated different people at one time. I've never dated just one person, and I never will. So because I don't feel that I have to be with one person until I'm married, that doesn't mean that I'm sleeping with them, but I can date whoever I want. That's how I feel. But now the next question I want to ask you is that this is also happening in other racial groups as well when it comes to Black men. Is that correct?
What's that? I'm sorry.
This is also happening in other racial groups as well with Black men. Is that correct?
Yeah, from what we're seeing, from what I've
Yeah.
seen, I mean, the out of birth rate is
Mhm.
a lot of these guys are having children with women outside their
Well,
racial group or ethnicity.
it's at 92%, and that includes Black, white, and Hispanic women. So that's the out of birth rate for Black men, and that's the highest in the country compared to all groups of men, and they only make up 6%. So with that said, you know,
Well,
somebody is saying now it's 95%. So now Black men have a 3% increase from the last time I checked. So I'm going to check that again. So they have Black men, which make up 6% of the country, have a 95% chance, 95 out of single mother rate, out of wedlock rate. And that's the highest in the country with 6% of a population.
yeah, and that maybe six, yeah, probably 6% because Black women outnumber Black men by approximately 2 million. So it probably is six because 13%. So women would probably be a 7% or yeah. I don't know what the stats are. 95%. I don't know, but I mean we're seeing it all around
So
us.
so
And
basically if you're interacting with a Black man, basically you have a 95% chance of becoming a single mother. That's basically what the data is showing.
wow.
So, yeah, but moving forward, what are we seeing when Black women are dating non-Black men?
Well,
What results are we seeing from that?
what we're seeing is their marriage rates increase. Their marriages last longer. Right now, the most successful marriages are Black women, white men. Uh, when Black men date out, their marriage success goes down than when they were with a Black woman. Uh, where Black women it goes up, and what we're seeing is, and I think it's a cultural thing because for so long having children out of wedlock is so acceptable now. People are just doing it. A lot of people are, and I think they're getting conditioned like this is just how life is. But this is not what life's supposed to be. You know, a man's supposed to not just lay up with you and get you pregnant. He's supposed to take care of you and the child. And but we've been seeing it for years where the Black community, the out of birth rate is just exploding. Now, all of society is having a problem. Every group, we're all going downhill, and we need to fix this. But I think the best shot we got is opening up our options to find, that the man and woman that want to have the family, that want to be successful, that want to build a legacy, you know, and we've seen it for years. And there's a documentary out there. I know you guys have seen it. It's called The Vanishing Black Family. It was done back in 1986, right? Um, and there were generations of single mothers. And I remember in that film they showed the young girl. She was a teenage girl and had her boyfriend, and they were sexually active. She got pregnant, and her mother was a single mother, and her grandmother was a single mother. And that stuff needs to be fixed. And I'm not just saying black people are doing this, white people are doing this. Every group is. Um, the black community's leading the way in this, though. And I've always said that we need to open up our options because black women don't have as many choices. And black women have told me this, that we're supposed to wait, and we're not allowed to date out, but the men can do what they want. And a lot of black women feel that they're on the sidelines waiting. And you could tell me, is that true? I've heard, and a lot of black women are getting fed up and say, you know what, I'm opening up my
Well,
options, I'm going
well,
out elsewhere.
there's majority of black women that actually care about what these men think do, but women like me don't care what they think. So, moving forward, you know, yeah. So the most successful interracial marriages are black women and white men. Is that correct? And what is the least marriage to work out interracially?
Black men, white women is the least to work out, the less successful. Um, and then, yeah, it's like the total opposite. Um, and it's kind of ironic, but it seems like black women, white men, there's things that are expected of us. We're expected to perform. We're expected to make things happen, and we're putting in the work. And when black women, white men get together, you got two people, I think from the beginning, work for that relationship and are looking beyond because they have to in their community. Think about it. Um, you know, in the white community, the white woman is a princess. She's put on a pedestal. She is. And it's just in our culture, you know. And then in the black community, it's the opposite. They're putting men on that pedestal. Like they're the most desired, the best men out there. Um, and I think you got two people that are working on one end and two people that are waiting for someone to do something. Does that make sense? I mean, and not all. Look, there's success and failure in all groups, but if we look at the numbers, and numbers don't lie, one group has more success than the other. It just is the way it is. It's like we got two people, when you got black men and white women, it's like you got two people that are put on that pedestal and taken care of. And then black women, white men, they're expected to make things happen. They're counted on to make things happen. And when they get together and they're both working in the relationship, well, of course they're going to have more success. I mean, it's just logic. And if you look at the numbers, and even people that are against it have to admit, you know what, they are having more success, and they'll come up with some reason that they won't just say that they did the right thing or they love each other. Some other alternate thing that somehow accidentally happens. I mean, I've listened to them, and it's like they cannot give black women, white men the credit for being on top when they have relationships in their marriages. But yeah, that's the dynamic. You got the best and the worst. I mean, but I think
So
that's what it is in a nutshell.
Yeah. So
Go ahead.
what should black women do at this point?
In my opinion, black women need to open up their options. Black women need to look at other men and you know, and see what they got to offer. Date other men, but do it in a courting type of way, you know, and see who treats you better. Look at their family. What's their family structure like? And I always tell women, if you're going to date, get to know the family. Make it a point where you're going to meet the family. Because a lot of times, if you're dating a man, you'll learn a lot about him when you meet his family. What's his father like? His mother? Do they have a stable environment? Are they successful? You know, are they hardworking? You know, there's so much you can learn. You know, and that's what, in my opinion, black women got to do. They got to open up their options. They got to go in different communities and explore that option and do it in a safe way. You know, but don't expect that the white guy you meet's going to be awesome and do the right thing. Okay, you got to vet and you got to have standards because there are white men out there that will exploit black women. But there's a lot of good white men out there that love black women that will love you and marry you, and we're seeing it happen.
Well, I'm all about probability and what makes sense.
Mhm.
And I've stressed this multiple times that you guys operate very differently. And my experience dating white men versus black men are very different. You're different. You understand what I'm saying? You're different. Moving forward, there's just a lot better men in your arena. I mean, there is a lot more of you or whatever the situation is, but a lot of the things that are going on in the community when it comes to murders and domestic violence, even though there's a lot more of you, you guys are doing that a lot less. So that is why I over stress in, you know, you have a higher household income. You also have a group of men that have created something for you as well. So I think that that's what it also is that your men do take responsibility and accountability, and failure is definitely not an option. I have to add somebody else to the conversation. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hey,
Oh, hey, man.
Fiberton, how's it going?
Yeah, it's going good. Everything is good.
All right. Hey, I want to address Mark Henry. He said Ted Bundy was a successful white man. Yeah, but that's the extreme. I mean, what's that got to do with the conversation? Yeah, you can run into a Ted Bundy, black, white, Chinese. Um, that's why you got to be careful. But I mean, yeah, I just wanted to address that. What's that got to do with? Okay. And this is a this is a thing. People throw this stuff at. Well, this white guy did this, and he, you know, I'm like, yeah.
But they're doing it a lot more. They're doing it a lot more, but you know, that's how it is.
Well, you know, and there's good and evil men in all groups, so you got to be careful. But that's the extreme. Most men are not serial killers, okay? And because he was a white man, don't mean we're all doing what he did. I find it funny and ironic that
I already told you, when it comes down to them, when it comes to black men, it's not all. But when it comes down to you guys, it's all. Always
it is. It is. It's funny. They'll find one example and say, see, look what he did to that black woman. See, there's one. Hey, we found one. But they don't look at the percentages. They don't dig deep in what's going on. It's kind of funny. It's just, man. But but look at the stats. Look at the married stats. Look at the domestic violence stats. Dig into that and go into percentage, because there are millions more white people on this planet. So you're going to find higher numbers of white people doing bad things. But then again, you could flip the coin, you're going to find more successful white people because there's more of us. So they do this a lot. They go on the raw numbers and they don't dig in deep.
Well, they go by Blackistani law. This is why I keep telling you they cannot run anything, because they go by things that no other group of people does that but these people. I'm telling you, no other group.
He says, I can bring up other white men that are successful that do wrong worse than black men. Okay, yeah, you're right, Mark Henry.
Yeah, well,
Black
you know what?
men are.
That seems to be their thing. They always know all these bad white men. That seems to be what they're always picking up. But moving forward, Riverton, would you like to add something real quick?
I don't know. He's really good at this, actually. You're really good at this. You cover all the bases and everything. I mean,
who, me?
There always, well, you all cover all the bases about all the things. So, when guys talk about, well, this guy did this and this guy, yes, there are bad men in all groups.
Yeah.
You see, they always love to talk about the bad stuff that you guys do, but I wish that they would build like you, protect like you, and conquer like you. They can't do that, though. You see how that works out? But they can only do the bad stuff that white men do. I find that so interesting.
But Mark Henry, hey, check this out though. We're going to help out. We're going to strengthen the black community, white men. We're going to marry black women more and take care of them, marry them, raise children with them, and we're going to do the right thing. And we got your back. So don't worry. We're all men in this nation, right? We band together. And you know what? If you need my advice on how to treat black women, how to love them, and take care of them, provide for them, and get more love out of them, because when you provide as a man, you get more. You get more, right?
You know what the problem is you see, black men are not intuitive as you guys. You guys always know what's going on in your community. See, most black men don't know what's going on in their community. That's why you have them online saying things that are not true, because they don't know what's going on in their community because they don't run their community. So that's why they're out here
pay
still.
attention to other communities. I have no idea what's going on.
Right. I know. But what I'm saying is that you guys know what's going on in your communities. These men never know what's going on in their communities, because for you to sit here and talk about how there's this abundance of good black men when the data is not showing that, and the very same men are doing the exact same thing in other racial groups, but you're still saying that in my comment section just shows you what I'm talking about. So moving forward, Fiberton, I'm sorry, I cut you off.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and speak. I'm so sorry.
That's all, really. And yes, there are good black gentlemen. That is true.
Yeah.
I can't say there's not, because I grew up in a black community. I played basketball, football, camaraderie, talked a lot about a lot of things. So I can't say that there are not. I did watch a lot of, do bad things. So and that's all I know. I'm maybe in some other place it's not like that, but where I lived, it got kind of, I didn't live on 8 Mile, but it got kind of wild. I've seen some wild things happen in that community. So in the South.
Yeah. I would say, you know what? This is how you win. I'm going to give Mark Henry a lesson how black men can be on top and be the best, and be praised and be number one. This is how you win. What you do is you take accountability, and in the community, you're the leaders, and you accept your failures, and then you do better. You work hard. You marry the women in your community, okay? And you get the marriage rate from 30% to 80%. Try doing that, and taking care of women in the community. Because look, how a community does, how a nation does, is how they treat their women. Okay, and that don't mean you kiss their butt. No, you be a good leader. You provide, you protect, you marry them, you have a family with them, and the stats are not, you know, panning out to what you're saying. And yeah, if they're the good black men that are doing the right thing, yeah, I embrace them. I'm all for that. Um, the thing of it is that there's something going on where there's a lot of single mothers, and black women are being shamed for opening up their options. And to me, that's problematic. And look, our society needs to fix itself, all groups of people. Okay. And my thing is, and I see some of the stuff that happens that black men do. Is it all? Of course not. But there's a big portion of them doing this. And being married over 28 years, I see what black women go through. I've been around a lot of black women, okay? And they tell me, and I see it firsthand. Um, and this ain't to tear nobody down. This is to uplift black women. And if black men ain't going to do it, white men and Asian men or other men have to do this. And but anyway, sorry I got detoured. But that's my opinion. And you know what? Black women have a lot of value, a lot of beauty, and black women are doing amazing things. And other men are seeing this. So we want that love and nurturing and that awesome relationship. So we're going to compete. And black men are going to have to compete for black women as time goes by. It's not going to be where it's all
Well, you know they're
yours.
not going to win, right?
Well, that's to be seen. I mean, it depends on
They're
the
not
man's
gonna win.
character.
Moving forward, I'm sorry, Brent. You know how I am.
Yeah, I know.
They're not going to win. So, but moving forward, Fiberton, you were saying something, but I cut you off. I'm so sorry.
Well, it comes down to this, right? It comes down to um, for that community to get better, men have to get better because communities are led by men.
Mhm.
So, but in time that will change because all communities change. So it'll get better. Maybe my lifetime, maybe in my lifetime. I can't predict what's going to happen. But Brent is right. Men of other cultures will scoop up these women.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the left wing, blue hair, all these crazy ass ladies, white ladies, white guys are just like, okay, I'm gonna have to flip the script and go a different direction because these ladies are getting crazy. That's what happens when people get comfortable with their situation. It doesn't matter who they are. So you're gonna see a shift, and we're seeing is evolution be politicalized. That's all. It's just evolution. Stronger persons get with stronger persons, and the weak get pushed out. Those genes will get pushed out, and it's just because we're all one species, so we're all just one ball trying to find the most, the strongest or the best or whatever all the time, and throughout history, that's always changing. So.
Mm-hmm.
And we are where we are in our timeline.
Yeah. And look, the way I look at this is, as a free thinking individual, you choose your own path. And black women, I've always felt, are the best option, and you should go for the best option. Men do it, women should do it too, because you want the best. You want to be happy. You want success, and you want the best option for that. There's nothing wrong with that. And just because a woman looks like you does not mean she belongs to you. And I think people need to get out of that mindset and just go for what's the best option. And look, if your community is not doing well, that don't apply to you as an individual. What applies is what you do. Are you successful? Because we get caught up in this, this guy comes on, well, there are so many good black men and bad white men, and why don't you just be within yourself, be an individual, you know, go against the grain and do the right thing. Be that example. Because you can't change a community, you can't, but you don't have to follow what's going on. It'd be like if in my community there's a bunch of racist white people, do I have to join in that garbage? I don't. I choose my own path. That's what a man does. And some of these men watch this and say we're bashing black men. No, we're reading stats. We're telling you what's going on. And if that don't apply to you, that shouldn't bother you. It shouldn't. If you're doing the right thing. Because what other men do, does that affect your success? I think it's more of what you do, the choices you make. Depends on whether you're successful or not. But looking at the stats, black women are outnumbered by approximately 2 million. Okay? And then black men date and marry out more than black women, 2 to 3 times as much. So there are black women left alone because there's more black women than black men. So black women have to lower her standards to get with the men because the numbers are not in her favor. And a lot of black women, when they date, a lot of them are sexually active, trying to lock down that man. And it shouldn't be that way. It should be men competing for women. Across the board.
I wanted to clarify this. You only, if you have sex as a woman, you have sex if you want to have sex with somebody, not because you feel like you have to. Because I'm not gonna have sex with somebody unless I want to have sex with them. So I want to put it out there, ladies. You don't have to have sex with any man or anything, okay? Only if you want to.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. Don't feel
like. Yeah, okay, we knew that one.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it should be.
Unfortunately, some black women don't know that. That's why I had to make sure, some black women don't know that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, it is your choice, of course. Don't feel obligated to do that. If you can't keep him, if the only way you could keep him by, engaging in sexual activity, you don't need him. And the thing of it is, if that's all that's going to keep him with you, that's all he wants, and it ain't going to last.
Yeah.
I mean,
go ahead. I'm sorry, bro.
Oh no, I'm just saying. And society teaches us that if we're dating, we got to be having sex. I mean, the media. And people believe you have to do this. And a lot of men think if the woman ain't giving it up, that she don't have no feelings for you, she don't care about you. And that ain't true. The woman might want to make sure you're the right man before you engage in this, because if you're not, that's going to be a scar on a woman. It really is. And if you leave her with a child, then you're going to affect her life and the child's life. So people got to think about this, being strategic. But I mean, yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, bro. No. Finish your thought.
No, I was just saying that. And ladies, it's up to you whether you engage in that. Men will try to manipulate you into this. That's what men do. But you have the power. You really do. And choose, ladies. Who is the best man for the job? And it don't matter what anybody thinks. It don't matter what your family, your community. Look, you live for you. Do what's best for you. Not best for what your family thinks is, not best for your community or what other people think. Live for you. And a lot of times people get in trouble because they're doing what they think they're supposed to do and not looking at what's really going on. A lot of black women say, well, I have to be with a black man because he understands my struggle. Okay. He might understand your struggle, but does that mean he cares about your struggle? You know? Because a lot of people know what you're going through, but they'll manipulate you for their best interest. There are men that date single mothers and will live off their resources, their the welfare, food stamps, Section 8 housing. There are a lot of deadbeat guys that do that, and they take
Well,
advantage.
I mean, you see, all those things are unnecessary if you just go to men that's already doing the providing already. So those things are not even really needed.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you make the right choice in life, you're not going to need all that stuff. I mean, you might need government assistance because things happen. You might get injured. Something might happen to you but usually a lot of people get caught up in this because of bad decisions. And like I said, I blame men. Look, and this guy says, well, maybe it's the women making the mistakes. No, sir, it's not. Look, if you're the leader, it's your fault. And if it's going good, it's because of you. If it's going bad, it's because of you. Look, there could be women in there that's making it bad, okay? But if you're a leader, you lead and you take responsibility. And usually, where there's good men, women will follow these men and be there for them. But unfortunately, a lot of black women can't follow. They follow their man and they're not marrying them. They're having children with them. There's running around having multiple babies with women. Is it the black woman's fault this is happening in her community? But I'm seeing this. They go in hard on black women. Even single mothers, and I'm like, come on now. I just don't see women pump and dumping men. I mean, come on. I mean, it does happen, but they don't go and pump and dump and get pregnant and run off. That don't make sense. Who would want to do this? But they make it sound like the women are causing this. They're becoming single mothers. Like they have a choice to do this. No, the women are trying to have a relationship with these men. The women are trusting in the men and they open up themselves and they get intimate and a child comes and the man bounces, and this happens so many times. And then the woman's told, okay, we'll choose better. And then she has to wear a scarlet letter because she's a single mother now. But where's the accountability in the men? Because maybe there's something else going on, but usually men are more aggressive when it comes to this than women are. I'm just saying. And then these pick-me-shas come in and say, well, it's just a few of these men doing this. And I'm like, how can you have the highest out of birth rate?
Yeah, they're going to continue. Well, like I said, if you're going by Blackistani law and statistics, it's only 20%, supposedly.
Yeah, and I've heard stuff like that. But if that's true, these men are busy. How do they have the energy? You got to really pump and dump a lot of women to be the biggest a group with the most children out of wedlock. You would have to be so busy. I don't buy into that. Come on. I mean, it just and look, this is happening everywhere, but it's like the thing that really bothers me is black women are attacked for this. Black women are being blamed for being single mothers. They're being blamed for the divorce rate being higher than the marriage rate. They're being blamed and shamed for opening up their options to other men because they want to get married and have a family. And it's like it's I don't know. Tell me if I'm wrong, but it just seems like it's all black women's fault. But yet they're putting in the most work. Yet they're the most educated. Yet they're the most loving, the most loyal. But yet they put it on black women. Why? And black women, why would you stand for that? I mean, I don't get it. I'm sorry. I just
Well,
from what
since they made it clear that I'm the problem of the community, I have removed myself from that community. And I decided not to have children with these men because you should not want to have children with women that you're saying are unable to be mothers. So when I talk about that conversation that black women should not have children, now it's a whole other situation. But you're saying that these women have a lot of issues. Why do these women have issues? That's what I'm trying to get. We just don't have issues because we have issues because they're you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's either we have issues because of what? We have issues because of the circumstances that we are being brought into. That is why we have some issues. And a lot of that has to do with failed male leadership. That's why we have issues.
Yeah.
There's a whole other political thing going on too. Is that as the more leftist part of America starts to lose control of the black community, you're gonna see more and more white honk is gonna kill everybody, and all kind of weird stuff's gonna happen.
Well, you know what, and you got a point there because they'll use this in the political sense and bring up racism and discrimination and all this stuff, and white people are just going and just trying to create havoc and really it's not true. I mean, you got racist people, yes, but they make it sound like we're just all in cahoots to just get at black men, and then white men are marrying black women to get at black men, which makes no sense. We're marrying black women because black women are the best option. They're the best choice. And yes, we have more successful marriages when we do open up to black women. We just do. Why are most black women not daring successful black men?
Yeah, he wants to know why are most black women not dating successful black men? Would who wants to answer that question? Because according to this black man right here, there's all these successful black men.
Okay, where are they? I mean, I'm not trying to be funny. There are successful black men.
I told you, let it rip. I keep telling you, this is what this is the mindset of what you're dealing with here. You're dealing with men that are saying something that is not reality.
So black women are just dating the wrong black men. That's what's going on. They're not dating and marrying these successful Rhodes Scholar black men. Is that what's going on? Because the marriage rate in the black community is 30%. Okay? That's black men. 30% of black men are married. 27% of black women are married. So I guess only 27% of black women found that good black man. Where are the other ones at? And I'm just asking, and I'm not going in on black men. What I'm saying is the marriage rates are horrible. The out of birth rate is horrible. If we look at it statistically, the black community is in last place when it comes to love and marriage. It is what it is. Black love is on life support. what's going on. And can you change it? Yes. If men would marry women, be a husband and father, quit trying to be a player and a pimp, because all that's doing is it's destroying what you have. And when you use women for sex and to get that body count up and feel like you're doing something, you're destroying the woman you're with, you're destroying your children, you're destroying your community. You're putting 2 strikes against your children before they even have a chance to compete. And like I said, I mean, us as men, we all need to work on this. You know, it's not just one community, but if we opened up our options, I think we would be better off. And you know what? That would make men compete. That would make men be better men. And we need to do better. We need to check each other and tell men, you need to do better. You need to do this. Instead of telling women they need to do it. Because if we're telling women they need to do better, then really what we're saying is, guess what? Women, you're the leaders, and we just want you to take care of us. And you know what?
Brent, I already made it clear to you that the way these group of people are operating is incorrect. Because like I said, we are the men of the community. That's why they keep blaming us, because we are the men of the community and no other group is operating like that. So moving forward, we have to go to a community where we are the women and the men are the men. That's basically what it is, because we are the men of this of the Black community. That is why they're blaming us, because we're the men. So as the leaders of the community, Black women, the best thing to do is to leave that community altogether and go into a different culture and a different community where we will be women and we will have men that we can follow, proactive men that we can follow. That's what it's all about for me.
Well, and yeah, oh, he said, statistically speaking, are you referring to young Black men or older Black men? Okay. I'm referring to stats in the Black community. But look, we can go in the past and say, you know what, we had strong families, strong marriages. That's great. What are you doing today? We're in the here and now. We're in 2022. And we could say, you know what? We had it good. We're doing great things. And I've studied history where during Jim Crow era and all that, there were Black communities that were thriving, that were doing better than white communities. They were out there. But what's going on now when the playing field's been leveled? Okay, I'm not saying it's perfect, but there's more opportunities for Black people. So why aren't they as successful as back in the Jim Crow era? And look, I've seen documentaries where they would say that black people were more that they were more responsible on paying their debts. This is true. And look, but what's going on today? We can live in the past. We say, well, we were great. And I know Dr. Umar says, well, at times we were kings and queens and the first people, and we did all this great stuff. And okay, what about today? That would be like me telling you, you know what? Yeah, you got a nice house, but I used to have a mansion. Yeah, I live in a cardboard box today, but I did have a mansion one day. What's that mean in today's world? Because we got to live in the here and now. We can't live in the past. You know? And I think that's a big problem. And do not be a victim. Okay? Victimhood is destroying people. You know, yeah, there are people that have more opportunities than you. There are people that have it better. That's just life. Life is not fair. There are rich people today that are born in wealth. Like, I would say us three, I don't know everybody's economic status, but there are millions of people that have it better than us. Let's be honest. But there are millions of people that don't. I mean, you got to do what you can with what you got.
You know what the interesting thing is?
What's that?
Our poor in America are the richest people in the world.
Yeah.
Like our programs that help those in need, the money they receive, they are the richest people compared to, I think it's 4 billion or 5 billion people. They're richer than more than 4 or 5 billion people. It's
Yeah.
wild.
It
But yet
is.
people scream, "Oh my God, it's the world coming to an end. Oh, what I'm going to do?" Yeah, there's some countries you go to, and they're eating like mud cookies, some crazy wild stuff. Mud
Yeah.
cookies.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
pretty damn low. You're like, trying to spice up some mud and baking it. Like, I don't even know who thought of that, right? Like, all right, we have no food. Let's eat some dirt.
Well, I mean,
Hell?
that's survival mode. I mean, people are trying to live. They're trying to survive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you go to other countries, people will eat out of a trash can and think that's, they're having a feast. And then, you know, my time in the army, I've been to many different countries. I've seen third world countries where people, if they get one meal in that day, they had a pretty good day. Um, where we take things for granted. And, you know, we talk about racism and all this stuff, but the richest people on the planet are in America, the most millionaires. Think about that. But they're being oppressed, right? And I'm not saying there ain't black people being oppressed. Okay, we're in an evil world. Um, but really, I mean, we got it pretty good in our country. I mean, even our poor people, have food and a place to live and have a TV and clothes. I mean, what we look at poverty level and a lot of countries is wealth. I mean, but yeah, that's a good point. But here's the thing. You know how we build more wealth? You know how we become more successful? Is we do things the way we're supposed to. We stick to the basics. When we get older, when we get of age, we get married and we build together. Men, you got to work hard. You might have to work 2 or 3 jobs to get it going. And you know what? Your job is to do that. And marriage is the foundation of the family. Marriage is going to make you successful. And with 2 parents and a man and woman doing what they're supposed to, your children most likely are going to be successful. Now, I mean, there's always an exception, okay? But usually they turn out better. And I would say to men, if you don't love that woman, do not touch her. Don't touch her because you're lusting after her. If you're not willing to marry her, you shouldn't even touch her. I'm serious. Because what you're going to do is destroy that woman's life. And if you have children, you're going to destroy their life. Okay, they might turn out to be okay, but you're putting them at such a great disadvantage. And that's what's going on. And if your community is not doing good, it's the man's fault. You can't tell me it's women need to choose better or, they're emotional or they're masculine. Well, a single mother is going to be emotional, masculine, and have issues. Who wouldn't? If you're a single parent, you're going to have some problems. I mean, as people, we have problems. You put it on a woman's shoulder to take care of children by herself with a man not being there, or maybe she gets a boyfriend here and there just to have a warm body next to her. to try to fill those emotional needs, those physical needs, and think she's not going to have a little bit of a problem, you're mistaken. Black women are not masculine. When they are, it's because they have to do all the work. And when you have to do all the work, you have to have masculine energy. But if men would marry black women, they would have the most feminine, the most beautiful woman, the most loyal, and the most successful.
When it comes down to it, it's about loyalty, right? That's what you want at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's
respect, right?
Yeah, that's what we want as men. We want a woman that's, that loves us, that's loyal, and that's going to be by our side. And black men have this. Black men, oh man, look, I see these black women, and I'm like, oh my God, if you would just love her and just try, she'll be there for you. I mean, seriously. And I have a good marriage. Maybe that's what I see, but I see that in other black women. I see the same characteristics as my wife has. But these women are dragged. They're exploited. And it's like, and these black women are still loyal to these men that won't marry them, that will be their fiance for many years. And they still give them love. They still do give their heart and soul. I don't see that in any other group of women out there. I don't. Black women have something special that other women do not have. And for black women, from what I see, it's either going to be a blessing or a curse, depending on the man that she's with. Because black women will give you everything. Seriously, if she loves you, she's going to be there, no matter what. And it's just sad that so many black women are taken for granted, not loved how they should be loved, not taken care of.
True.
And maybe it's because these men have been taken care of all their lives that they don't see the blessing they got. Sometimes when you're blessed like that, you don't even realize it. And maybe that's what's going on. But I just pulled my hair out. I'm thinking, wow. I mean, these women are there for you. And they outnumber you. All you got to do is just be a decent dude and just try. I mean, seriously. But anyway, guys, go ahead. I don't want to take up the whole live stream.
Oh no, Brent, I want you here. I want you to, I want you guys' opinion on what's really going on, because like I said, the problem is always us. So, that seems to be what it is. Like, we're just these women that just keep going after these bad black men, but for whatever reason, when we're dating non-black men, we're not getting the same results. But black men that are dating non-black women, the same things are happening with black women. I just find that very interesting. But moving forward, Jeffrey Dahmer, talk to me.
I'm a girl, by the way.
Oh, that's fine. What's up?
Oh, I thought you were only letting guys in, so.
Oh, so you were going to sneak in.
No, I didn't know. I was asking. I didn't want her to be like, I only want guys' opinion. I didn't want to not obey rules.
No.
So.
I wanted to get the leaders of the world opinions first before you guys come in and speak. That's why.
Yep, I got you. You let the leaders. Okay, all right, yeah, that's true.
Oh my, leaders of the world, boy, you slinging them bombs out there.
Exactly.
You know, Brett and I just sitting there like, oh my god.
Uh-oh.
Girl, we already have a crybaby in the chat, but
I
to
know
make matters worse,
listen, I see, I don't get mad when they're around because I want that mentality to be exposed. Remember when I told you they're all the same? They're all the same because that's somebody that's in my family that's in that chat talking like that. All the same.
okay, I understand. To make matters worse, I think Brent saying everything was true, but Brent always, um, he's a little, nice a little bit on it. I'm going to tell it like rip the band-aid off, and I'm going to
Okay.
make a lot of people triggered. I don't care, but black
That's
women
what
ain't
we
the
love it
problem.
over here. That's what we're all about over here. You know that, girl. I'm gonna be silent, girl. Talk.
Black women ain't the problem. We all know who's the problem because when you look at other groups of women, they got the same stuff that we literally been talking about. Remember in the 2000s, like when YouTube and the internet, started going up, how black men were going on online talking about black women this and that, praising white women and shit like that. Now look at it. White women crying and black men literally, and I mean literally, making more than other races of women have a problem with them. You have white women now even saying they don't even want a black man because y'all so problematic, but the most desirable men, my butt. Y'all ain't no desirable men. All y'all do is cry and y'all blame racism, systematic oppression, and all this now, which I will say it does, like there's some stuff here and there between the lines, but you being a sad excuse of a man and you literally not being there for your kids, it's not the white man's fault. It's your fault. You are very feminine as a man, and you literally saying black women, oh, are masculine, this and that. Do you think white men care? Do you think white men look and be like, oh, they right, the women there are masculine, so it's not their fault? No, white men will look at you and see you weak because if you as a man can go online and say your woman is masculine, what that make you? That make you a sad excuse of a man. I don't want to say the P word on here, but we all know what the P word is, and it ends with a Y. You're P and ends with Y. That's all you are. Stop blaming women, put up your balls, and there's some good black men, but it's like finding a needle in a haystack. Ain't nobody going through a whole million haystack to just find a needle. Get out of here. Like stop spamming and making videos about us and etc. and get a job because you're costing the US $50 billion and you stay up crying about black women, wigs and makeup, the white man this, the white man that. Shoot, you'll even blame a bird for even having poop out its butt. That's all you do. You blame everyone except yourself. You're the common denominator of all other
You
groups
know,
of
like
women having the problem.
I remember when I told you that they are so intimidated by these men. I keep that. That's that. Listen to me. They are done. I told you they are done. They are finished. It's time for us to move on to other groups of men. These men, they're done. I told you that already. All right. So moving forward, girl. I'm sorry to cut you off. Keep going, but you cracking me.
I'm gonna drop some, stats. And I know, they don't do well with stats. They tend to drop out of high school, barely make it to junior year. They have a high dropout rate in high school. But I'm about to,
Mhm.
make math easy for you. We're going to elementary math, 1, 2, 3 math, that type of math. But we're about to talk about how when white women are dealing with you, they're so feminine and submissive. They know how to treat you. And they even say white women get the good black men. But why are you leaving these women single mothers at 95%? So if you say black women are the problem, I'd be like, fine, that's okay. And you're not the problem. I'd assume you're not the problem and say black women are. And then you praise other groups of women. They're not a problem. But why is the same thing going on? Same man, different group of women. You're the problem. You just don't want to admit it because your ego will be bruised and everyone will see you're just a sad excuse. And you're not the victims people think you are. And all you do is just bring bad luck and you just bring weak energy. And you're not no successful man is literally, no, you're not successful. No. And I feel bad for her. You found a good black woman, all right? You found a mammy. That's all you. I bet you she's a black male worshiper. Y'all love those types. Y'all love those
They
types of the
all
real women
are.
who can't get
They
don't want you
all
ugly.
are, girl. Trust me. Because listen, there is nothing. Listen, okay? There is no reason to want to be with these men. They are conquered. Do you understand me? They are conquered. They are so conquered. I'm telling you. I don't get it. They are conquered. I told you, they're done.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna love, and I'm gonna purposely say how much white men are better than you, and how much of the
But they
B
are
word
better.
you
They've
are
proven it.
to
They've
the white
proven that
man.
they're better. They've proven it. They've proven it. They've proven it for how long they've been proving it. They've proven it.
Right, and they jealous as hell. Like, if you guys think, oh, it's racism when a white man say it, then it's not racism when a black woman say it, because we're the same race. I'll say in your face, white men are better than you. Well, majority of them are better than you, because you're still in their system. You're still praising the women they put on a pedestal. You're praising their power. You want to be them, and your worth is just trying to please them. So, oh well. So call me bedwench or etc. I love being a bedwench because you're also a bedbug towards him because you're his. I'm not gonna say the word.
Oh man.
Girl, I love it. Okay. Listen, I mean, this is why I tell you when these men come into my chat, right? I want you to see the mentality that's on display and what they're going to try to convince you. I told you they're going to convince you that there's all these good black men and there's all these educated black men, but they can't explain why every race of woman that they're dealing with are being left single mothers. Supposedly this is all a fabrication. It's not true. It's everything is a lie and a fabrication to them. That's how they operate.
Well, is it just the few of them doing that? These guys are the few guys. They are busy. I don't know how they keep up with this, um, because most of them are educated, successful. They're Rhodes scholars. They're just great men that just want to marry black women. But black women, they want the.
I mean, they have all this. They have all the. Now, let's say this is true, right? They have all these great men out here, all these great black men out here. Why are they in the position that they are in, and why does their community look the way it does? So even if that's, excuse me, guys, even if that's true, right? And let's just say that. What does that tell you? That means that they cannot lead. That means that they are failed leaders. That's all they're saying. So let's say if we're all lying according to Mark Henry here, fine then. Why does your community look the way it is? Why, when I put on the TV, every time I see a black man is beating somebody up on TV when you make up 6%? But that's just white supremacy, right?
Yeah, and it is because here's the thing. I've been told um by these guys that and they've told me quit colonizing minds. And I want to thank black men for telling me that I have these powers, showing me how successful I am, and telling me how I can control minds, and how us and black women get together to just go in on the black man. Yeah, that's what I was thinking when I married my wife. Yeah, I love you, but I want to get at the black man. So let's get married and do this. Really? I mean, when you can't even marry 30% of black women, but yet you will say, oh, and I see these people, these Pygmishas and Beta Kings. Oh, 87% of black men marry black women. You know what the real stat is? Is 87% of 30%. What is that? Less than 30%?
Well, like I said, I have to have a show. It's going to be a private show on Black Astani law and statistics because you're going to have to understand that when you talk to them because that's what they go by. This is the only group of people, like I said, that will go by something that is less likely to happen to you. They don't go by the collective. The only group of people that do that. I don't know why. I can't tell you that why. That's why I say I'm no longer attached to them anymore because they don't make any sense to me and I don't like the way they operate and they're putting me in danger. So moving forward, does anybody else have anything else to say?
Oh, I got a lot of
All right, girl, go ahead, girl. Let it rip. Woo.
Okay, so one, I'm just going to say white men don't care. White men don't care. They're not dating black women to get back at the black men. For what? What do they need to get back at? They literally not to validate slavery or anything like that, not to say that, but what are they getting back at? They literally put their feet on your head for like centuries. Why do they? And also, they literally make up the legislation that you follow. What are they getting back at? Just because maybe you want a white man, but you can't have one, so you get a bootleg version of him, the white woman. That doesn't mean he's like you. He do not want you. He's a man. He do not desire men. He desire women.
Really
maybe you want white. maybe you want white zaddy like us, and you're in competition with us. But the white men don't want you.
That is so true, girl.
Oh my.
It's the truth. Listen, you should see the things that they allow y'all to do to them. I'm telling you, you don't know.
Oh my God. I might have nightmares. Please.
All right, let me stop, guys. Somebody else come up on this chat before I get myself in trouble.
But listen, I'm gonna cool down for a while after this one more rant. For the next person. But this is for the mammies that's cloud watching, and you just want to be like, "Oh my God, a black king!" This is for you. Hi, bitch. Yeah, thank you for watching. You have no self-respect for yourself. You need to grow up. What grown men? All you care about is swag. You do not care about how they treat you. You have no self-esteem. You're so desperate, and you need to know how to love yourself and how to actually vet men. And the fact that you keep praising men that won't even, put water on you or even spit if you are on fire says a lot about you. You are lower than, you have no self-worth, and only time I'm gonna agree with Kevin Samuels, you're average at best, or you're below average because you think like average and you want men that are so low to your level because you deserve more, but you don't think you deserve more because you think you're poverty. So if you think you're poverty, I'm gonna treat you like poverty. I'm gonna treat you like you're trash, and I'm gonna talk to you like you're trash, and I'm doing that right now. But if you're cloud watching, thank you, and get some self-esteem and get some therapy. You need it, hon.
But you have to always remember, you see, we're the issue. We're the women that are the problem in the community because you know what? We actually want better and we want to get married and we want to be provided for. That's what the issue really truly is.
I don't think they want better though. Because the thing is, I believe they actually like this theory. I think they actually don't want them to be better. Because when like if a guy get better and better, he is getting like many options. Even though black men say they don't care, they could go date out the race. To them, it's like, if I kiss their butt, if I continue doing this and this and that, they will think what they're doing right now is okay and they're not the problem. So they don't have to improve on themselves. And I can feel like I'm validated and I can have easier access to them. But what these dummies don't understand is that these dudes don't care about you. They're selfish and they're lustful and they have no common sense. So whatever you're thinking is just out the window and you'll never be accepted by them. Because the women they really want, it's either white women, mixed women, or light skins. Or if they can have any three of them, they usually go for women like us who is not going to kiss their butt and who's a challenge. Because guys like challenges. Of course, they don't want you to be like difficult, but they like women that's not easy. And a lot of you guys are basic. A lot of you girls are basic and you're easy. And you have no self-esteem and self-worth. And you are loose and you have nothing to offer. So
Oh,
keep dreaming. They will not pick you. Keep waiting another 400 centuries because they will not pick you, hon. 400 years of
dang.
mammy.
Oh, I gotta laugh because it's funny. I mean, do any of you guys, any of the leaders of the world, have anything to say tonight?
I feel like I'm at a baseball field and people are
I
knocking things out the park.
I just want to give a shout out to and I got a song. Look, my voice ain't good, but I'm going to sing it. And I'm going to shoot this idea to Disney. I just
Hold on for a second, Brent. You know,
okay.
Mark Henry says that they had a black president. So they had a black president that was left by his black father that the white woman's grandfather raised. I don't know why they
yeah.
keep talking about
Hey,
that. Like, oh my gosh.
Let's talk about the black president, the
Yeah, the black
biracial.
president that the white man
Okay.
raised, right? Okay.
Yeah,
Good
yeah,
one.
yeah. Did you know? Yeah, did you know Barack? he was raised in a white community by his white grandparents because his father left. Okay, and I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't say this. Barack might send Secret Service after me, but I mean, his father wasn't there. And then he was raised in a white community. Nothing wrong with that. And
I
then,
think you're being too nice, Brent.
and then, if you look at the women he dated in his younger days, were all white women. And it just seemed to happen when he got in politics. He had a black wife. And look, I'm not saying they don't have a good marriage and they love each other. Their marriages lasted, and I give them props for that. But I don't know. It's like, and maybe that's because he only had access to white women. Maybe, I don't know. Did you guys know that George Bush and Obama are related? They're cousins. Did you guys know that?
They're
No.
yeah,
They're distant cousins. Yes.
they're
George
six
W.
cousins. Six.
Yes. Yeah. They share DNA. Of course, from Barack's mother's side. But I look at his old pictures, and you see him like going to like dances with white women and stuff, and it just seemed like. And people have said if Barack had a white wife, he would never get elected. He had to have a black woman to become president. And I believe that's true. But I think with white men, I think if we had a black wife, I think that would help us politically. Actually, I think that would make us more powerful. Tell me if I'm wrong. What do you guys think about that?
Oh, can I? Okay, so
Yeah.
one for the for the idiot in the chat, you literally
Uh-huh.
just proved our point bringing up Barack, who was just like many celebrities like Drake and Doja Cat, their black father abandoned them. You just proved our point. And two, the sad fact is, Brent, I agree with everything you say, but let me rip the band-aid off.
Okay.
Barack was raised with around white people and by a white person. And the thing is, a lot of you, especially you black men, you guys claim everyone to be black. But that NBA draft, though, you didn't want to claim those boys as black, though. You were claiming them as biracial and saying, oh, they're extending y'all, though. But anyways, Barack did not claim black. But you know why Barack claimed black? Because he said, you black people start calling him black. And he started entering into politics. So he don't even claim y'all by nature. It's just that he felt pity and he was annoyed if you guys constantly keep saying he's black. And if he said, no, he's not black, he's mixed, a lot of you guys wouldn't vote him. A lot of you guys would be like, oh, you just don't like being black, and you guys wouldn't vote him. So he kind of finessed y'all, and he literally used your desperation of trying to claim everyone as black against you. He never wanted to be black, but you guys are so desperate for everyone to be black that, hey, he used it. Boom.
Hey,
And Kamala
hey,
don't even claim black, idiot. She literally claims she's Indian.
oh man, let me talk about this. Yeah, and you know where
And
they'll
let me
hey,
just say one thing. And her black
okay.
father left as well, and he's a Jamaican immigrant.
Oh, and let me say this. Where do the Obamas live? It's not Chicago in the black community. It's at Martha's Vineyard around
That's
a
right.
lot a lot of liberal white people. The Obamas and look, I'm not going in on them, but they're around a lot of white people. I'm just going to say that. And
That's
that
because it's basically culturally, he's white culturally.
yeah,
Absolutely.
he
I've
is.
seen him like, look, check this out. So I seen a thing where he walked out. There's some basketball players there at the White House,
Mhm.
and he was like the awkwardness of him, like yeah, brother. The awkwardness, it was not smooth. It's not something he did probably ever before. It was very strange, but I didn't have anything against him. He's just another man, but smart. He's a
Yeah.
smart guy though. He's a smart guy. You
Oh,
know,
he's very
he's a
intelligent.
very smart
Hey,
guy.
him and Michelle are very intelligent people. They're not dummies. No, they got their stuff together. But what I'm saying is, uh, the life they live and the perception is different. I'm going to say that. I believe that. And Kamala Harris, let's talk about her. Look, you're going to claim her as black. Look, Kamala Harris didn't claim black till it came election time. And my opinion with her is she would be a white girl from Alabama if that would get her elected. She'll be whatever you want her to be. And seriously, and she could be that because she has DNA. She has Irish, black, all kinds of stuff, right? So she could an Indian, so she could claim a lot, really. But she'll be what you want her to be if she'll get elected. That's my opinion. Because did she really claim black when
Mm-mm.
she was a lawyer? When
Mm-mm.
she was in California? I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, she was listening to rap before they were born.
Yeah,
She
I
got
mean,
some very good talents.
she was down with Tupac before he even started singing or rapping.
Yeah,
I mean, that's pretty good. And but hey, I mean, if I guess she had that time machine, but I'm just saying. I mean, but but yeah, I mean, she
And
does
yes,
have.
and yes, and this is a white male worshiping channel. And if any, that's what we do here.
Who
And
said
that's what it
that?
is. Well, that's what they're calling my channel. So I'm going to say, well, you know what? It is a white male worshiping channel. If that's what you guys want to call it, then that's what it is. We worship white men here, and that's what it is. So somebody just emailed me talking about how this is a white male worshiping channel. I said, that's what it is. Absolutely. Sorry to
Hey,
cut you off, Brent.
oh no problem. But you know what? There's black men that worship too because they tell me that I got powers to colonize minds, that I've had access to black women throughout history, that I just get what I want and I can do what I want. They tell me these things. I'm like, good
And
God,
there's
man.
nothing wrong with that. There's
Well,
nothing
just
wrong with that. What is wrong with men being men and taking what they want? What I'm trying to get it. Just because you're weak doesn't mean that other groups of men have to be weak. And that's what it is. You don't mind taking what you want and they're pissed off about it, but I'm going to be quiet now.
he created. Okay, what? Uh, all I was saying is she listened to Tupac before Tupac even started. I
yeah. He wasn't even making music then.
No, he wasn't even doing it. I mean, she got what it was is she was trying to push forward a black image because back before she ran for office, she identified as Indian, like her mother. But all of a sudden, when it comes election, now she's black, and you know, there's black people that won't accept biracial um, people as black, but yet they accept her. I mean, I got biracial kids, and there's people that tell them you're not black, you're biracial. My opinion on this, you claim whatever you want. I don't care. Uh, I think that's silly and stupid. If Wesley Snipes wants to say, "Hey, I identify as a white man," I say, "Okay, go ahead." I mean, it's silly. People are held to a standard because they're not purely black all the way, so they can't be black. It's kind of like white supremacy revealing its ugly head here in the future. And amazingly, black people have embraced white supremacy. Tell me I'm wrong. There are black men that will go in on black women because they're darker complected and they want a woman that's light skinned. I mean, that sounds like white supremacy to me. Just saying.
You see,
I mean,
you see, that's why you know that's the thing with them. They can have their preference, but we can't have our preference. That's what really just
yeah,
now that's very interesting to me. You understand what I'm saying? And when I say that I like what I like, now it's because of something else. That's how they operate and work. Because like I said, it's nothing but gaslighting, manipulation, and weaponization with them. That's all it is with them. That's just what they do. You understand what I'm saying? They can like your daughter, but I can't like you. You understand what I'm saying?
yeah, that's true.
So
Yes, yeah, yeah. And you know what? It's funny they don't talk about racism when they're with Becky. When they're laying down with Becky, there ain't no white supremacy. There ain't no racism. It's all good, right? But when a white man gets with a black woman, oh my God, all hell breaks loose. Oh, it's white supremacy in full effect. It's white men in collusion with black women to just get at the black man. I've heard this stuff and it blows my mind. What are we taking from black men? Seriously, because we get a black woman. You only marry 27%, so 73% are out there by themselves. So what are we taking? No, we're just finding women that we're falling in love with. And these guys are getting their feelings hurt. But it just blows my mind. They're not doing nothing, though. It's not like we're just. And it's funny because black men will get with white women thinking they're sticking it to the man, but we don't care. I mean, I haven't heard nobody complain about that. You know, maybe there's white supremacists. I mean, real white supremacists, the ones that believe white people are superior, not the ones that date black women. Um, get to know when you talk about a certain group of people, when you talk about white supremacy, and I would tell these beta kings, when you talk about white supremacy, know what that really is, study it, understand their ideology and why they think that way, so you can understand what it really is. Because white supremacy is not a white man that marries a black woman. Okay, that's the total opposite. But they will say this. White supremacy is not a white man sticking up for himself and defending himself. No, that's just a man defending himself. White
Right.
supremacy is somebody that only wants to be around white people and believes white people are superior to others. That's what it really is. It's not a white guy that has a black wife or black girlfriend that thinks black women are beautiful. But they get it twisted. I guess that word is slinged around so much that it has several meanings. I'm even confused trying to keep up with what it really means. Before we know it, someone will say you're white supremacy, and white people say, "Yeah, I'm a white person." That's what it'll mean before it won't even have the same meaning. But anyway, um,
They're
Just
just
a
mad,
just
bro.
a
They're just mad.
disclaimer.
yeah,
I will proudly claim and declare myself as the headmistress of the Bedwench game and
that's
the
right, girl.
supporter
That's right. Yeah. We
and
just like it
supporter
over
of
there
the
better.
quote unquote white supremacy, white men are doing better than us club. So sign up and, and yeah.
I
Hey,
think maybe I'm gonna start that. The Bedwench Club. I think that's a great idea.
Yep,
the Bedouins Club.
there's supreme countess. There should be countess, headmistress, queen, princess, and all the titles you can go up to. I want headmistress.
Ooh, girl, I like it. What do you think about that, Fiberton?
Is this going to be a building I can show up to, or how's that work out?
We're still, you know, well, we'll see. Probably. Grant, you wanted to say something, right?
I was just thinking. I was going to sing my song, but my voice is so horrible. I was going to replace, Beauty and the Beast. I was going to replace that. I got some ideas for like shows instead of Beauty and the Beast. Maybe pick Misha and the Beta King. Tell as old as time. Pick Misha and the Beta King. um
The losers. The losers.
um
They're
how
just
how
losers.
how about if we did instead of the Lion King, how about the White Zaddy King?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Well, I'm waiting for that. So just let me know when you're gonna do that, Brent.
Yeah, I'm going to make I think I'm going to do like a storybook. I'm going to have pick Misha and the Beta Kings, and then I'm going to have the White Zaddy King. Um, and Tyrone and Becky Poppins. I mean, I can mix.
Grant, to help you with a lyric. To help
or
you with
help.
the lyric of the, when they say Beauty and the Beast, to help you with the lyric, I say child support and divorcee.
Baby
Uh,
mamahood.
I mean, we could share the wealth with these stories. I mean, we could, and look, black men have these women that are ride and die, right? Black women that ride and die. Well, Becky wants to join in too. You know, little Becky Riding Hood. I mean, she's a Becky. Um, she's from the hood. She's Becky Riding Hood, and she's ride and die. I mean, so I
I
mean,
I have made myself very clear to black
mhm.
women that we are living in a really great time right now. You need passing on the burden, the black man burden. I call it the black man's burden. You know what I'm saying? I believe in passing that burden to other groups of women. I believe in sending them off to Brazil or Colombia or wherever or something like that. You understand what I'm saying? Pass the
Yeah,
burden to these other groups of women. Trust me,
yeah,
because we have a whole entire group of conquerors that are waiting to be with us, and we should go over there.
yeah. And hey, one day I'm going to open up the White Zaddy Academy next to Umar's school, and you know what? I'll probably hey. I'll probably have a better chance opening it up with no money than him with millions. I'm just,
Pretty
um,
much.
but
Oh, he
But I
spent that money. He spent
you'll
that
get
money.
stuff
oh, he
done,
did.
Brent. You'll get stuff done. They'll never get anything done, but you'll definitely get stuff done.
You know what? I produce more of a service having my Swirl to Investment Academy where we just go online and talk about dating. I'll produce more of a success than his school that he bought at an abandoned building and uh several years later gets an HVAC finally. I don't know. I think he's soaking people for money. Just keep donating. Uh,
That's
I
what they do. That's what they do. That's what they all do. They just do it on different
yeah.
levels. That's what they do.
And yeah, Operation Snow Bunny. Beware of snow bunnies. Uh, where's Mark Henry? I need to warn him. Yeah, hey, Mark Henry, you still here, brother?
Let me
Hey,
see if I can find him. He's probably well, he'll probably show
The
back up.
McDonald's Wi-Fi shut down, or his
He's a-
mammy kicked him out.
yeah, his Boost mobile account is overdue, so he's.
Let me tell you, if they ever did an accounting on Umar's books for that place, he'd probably go to
Oh,
prison.
oh gosh.
It just takes one forensic accountant to destroy his whole
They're
life.
not gonna do
And he has to
that
know it.
because they're not gonna do that because you know what they're gonna. He's just gonna say, "Oh, this is racism." They're
Did he
not
say
gonna.
it was a 501c?
That's the only reason why they won't touch him. I
But
mean,
did
they
he make it a
already took his.
501c? Because then it's
I
federal.
don't. Well, they're not
And they
really
don't
gonna touch
play. They
him.
don't
What
give
I
a
do
shit.
know
They don't
is
give a
that
shit.
yeah, because they're gonna racism. All I do know is that they did take his because he's a psychiatrist. He was a licensed, like I said, just because these men can become psychiatrists, the worst
How
psychiatrists.
the hell did
Yeah,
that
he
crazy
was a
bastard become a
psychiatrist, and then
Psychologist.
this is what I keep telling you about these men. Don't think because they have a degree and they're just because there's some high functioning black men don't mean anything. They're still the same. Their character is still the same. But he was a psychiatrist for years. He was a licensed psychiatrist for years,
What the
and they
fuck?
took his credentials because of the type because they took
A
his credentials.
psychologist can write scripts, right?
So yeah, go research Dr. Umar. He's
That
something else.
guy, he could write script. Oh hell,
He messed up some people.
what do you
You know
have on his
what?
door? What do you have on his door? No white. I take no white patients.
And guess what? He's not married. He has several children out of wedlock. So this supposed educated black man that they're saying that's out there, they do the same exact thing. Those educated black men are the ones that's leaving a lot of these white women single mothers. So, and it's not a lot of them.
As a woman who have a educated lame as a father, I can
There you
admit this
go.
is true. My father is a doctor, and he don't like many Black Americans. Yeah, he's very xenophobic, but he don't snag his pants, etc. So he'd be the educated lame, but he's a bum. He I can't say the word on YouTube, because trigger, but a word, his wife and children, and he is the worst dad. So these lames, I think the lames are actually more dangerous than the pookies because the lames actually are hiding behind a mask. The lames wait for the perfect opportunity where you're tied to them to act, while pookies just straight up do it in your face the first minute you meet them.
Listen,
So the lames
listen,
are just as worse.
listen. I already told you already. I'm gonna have to cut this live in the next 20 minutes, guys, because there's actually gonna be a part 2 to this tomorrow. Moving forward, though,
Okay.
yeah, but moving forward, I told you a lot of these black men are in the military. Go look at the FBI list. There has been multiple of them that's been in the military that's been on the FBI list. And a lot of it has to do with them getting some woman pregnant and killing them, or them having an affair, the same crap. If you think you really think that these men are good because they're the same man, and they're even more dangerous if they got a degree.
I just looked him up. Holy hell, he's got a Bachelor of Science, and he has a psychology degree. What?
Yep.
That guy
That's
is
why I
weird
keep
as hell.
telling.
Who the hell is like, yeah,
And that's why I keep
he might
telling
just
you,
be a
just
good
because they're
testament.
educated don't mean anything. It's still the
I'm blown away because that guy sounds like
she put
Oh,
retarded.
he just
Oh,
arrived.
he's looking right back at me.
He's like, look, hey, I know you're coming at me with the snow bunny crisis, the white women government agents that get with black men to get to their accounts. He made a video on this. He says there are snow bunny agents. The government is getting white women. Okay, he said this, that they're getting white women together and making them secret agents to date black men to get to their account. He said this.
That's wild. This guy
There
might have
is
smoked something.
there
He
is
might
a
have smoked
snow
something.
bunny crisis. There is white women, and I say white women thrown towards the black man to manipulate the black man and make him turn his back to the community. They are using the black man
Listen, I
and
keep
going into
telling
their
you.
account and scamming them. And I do not appreciate you sisters laughing along with these white men, your oppressors. I said the white man and blaming a good black man.
And these black women fall for it. I'm telling you, they fall for the nonsense. I'm telling you, it's like, oh
I
my
know what
gosh.
though. Listen to him makes me want to take a shower. Like
Oh man,
I'm like,
it's horrible.
I can't even believe
oh
the
my
stuff
gosh,
he.
Burberton, I got it. Oh, did you tell him about the spray thing? Black women don't let.
Oh yeah! Oh my God! Yeah, that video. Oh, he said black women, and he was going off on Ralph Richard Banks, right? Because Ralph Richard Banks, he's a Harvard law professor, right? He told women that they should consider dating white men because of Kamala Harris and Kataji Brown Jackson are married to white men and successful. So and years before he made a book that said his marriage for white people, encouraging black women to open up their options, right? And he got triggered on this. He's like, and he had a spray bottle. He was spraying, and he says, black women, don't let white men spray in your man cave. Don't let them. And he was squirting a spray bottle. And he was saying he might be spraying Abraham Lincoln in you, and all these successful white men in history. I can't make this up. I mean, and, and there were other women that did a reaction on this. They're like, "Wow, you're threatening us with very successful white men in history." Like we're.
I mean,
oh man,
listen. I've made it very clear. The way black men talk about white men is, trust me, is the reason why some of us are white male worshipers, because I told you, they tell you that they keep telling us how much better than you guys are than them, and they don't seem to realize that, because they don't seem to understand that they are men. And you sitting here telling me that another man is better than you and what he can do to you and what he's done to you, you really think I want to hear that? That's like, please.
you know what? And what's funny about what you just said is I've had black men come into my channel and actually uplift me, saying, well, you've always had access to black women, you just go and take what you want, you just you just take whatever woman you want and you have her. And I'm like, wow, yeah, I do that. Thank you for uplifting me, thank you for building my spirits, thank you for feeling. Yeah, it's like, but I'm like, he's actually giving me a compliment in a weird sort of way. I know it's not meant to be that way. He's triggered, I guess, trying to make it in history that white men just did what they want. But in today's world, it's uplifting. Wow, I can have access to black women. Oh, what's a white man to think if a black man's telling them that black women want white men? It's like, really? Just like some of them will say this thing. And pro leadership, you remember that one video where they're talking about how I guess white men, when they went to Africa, that there was black women that put bells on to let the white men know that they wanted to be with them.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm actually going to get some bells made so you can identify the white male worshipers. So Yes. So listen to me. It's very clear what's happening here. So they made it clear what's really going on.
I just
LBTW, there will be a I Love White Zaddy t-shirt available. um and there will be some, on the back it could be like, yep, I'm a white male worshiper. There will be t-shirts available for that, and you can show you
Oh
like white
yeah,
men.
I'm gonna have some. Yeah, I'm gonna make sure we get some bells, some T-shirts, some cups, some. Oh yes, absolutely. We want white men to identify the ones that want them. So
hey, yeah, we need we need a system where we can connect with each other, black women, white men, that we can say, okay, yeah, I'm with you. I want to be with you. Um, I can't participate in that because I'm married, but
of
I can
course,
help.
Brent, But
I
guess
can help.
what? I started a Patreon account because
Oh, did you?
yes, and the only reason why is so because there's certain things that we can't put on here. So we're going to be discussing that in private chat in Patreon because
Okay.
there's only the members will have access to certain things. So then so cuz we're going to get into real deep conversations. And but moving forward, guys, I got to end this chat in like 10 minutes, guys. There's going to
Oh,
be a
okay.
part 2 tomorrow. And yes, Ferberton,
Thank you for
Fiberton,
having me.
sorry. Is there anything would
Mhm.
you like to say before we end the chat?
No, I don't disagree with anything anyone has said. So I'm just, it's interesting to hear people talk and not yell at each other because some of the other places they just yell and there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. So it's all good.
It's all good. How
Hmm.
about
All
you,
Yeah.
good in
Brent?
the hood.
What is the
Yeah.
conclusion of all this? What should black women do? Tell us right now what we should do.
Okay, black women, open up your options. And look, black women, I'm going to say this. And look, I've given my heart to a black woman back in 1974, and I've never looked back. And I've been married to my black wife for over 28 years. And what that says is, black women, you are the best option. Black women, you are the most beautiful. Black women, you are the most successful. Black women, you are the most loyal and loving. And go where you're loved and appreciated and get the best option, black women, because you are the best option. And seriously, you are. And that's what I would say. Black women, open up your options. There are men out there that love you. Um, you don't have to be in a box. You don't have to uplift men. You don't have to, make them lift up their ego and stuff. No, let the man provide for you. Let the man build for you. Let the man be a man, so you can be the beautiful woman that you are, and rest in your femininity. And that's what I would just say. And you are the best option. And if you look at my life uh, validates everything I say. And I'm not unusual. I'm I'm not alone. It just maybe I'm more vocal than other men about this. But seriously, ladies, you are the best option, so go for the best option.
And my
That's all
conclusion
my.
is black women need to start saying how they feel about other races of men or whatever. If you like other races of men, you have to start saying that, even in public. You don't have to be, but you have to start saying that because these men are not going to approach you if they don't know we're out here. That's why I be going so hard on this channel to let y'all know you can approach me anytime. Just letting y'all know.
Awesome.
Well, I drink to that. Yeah, Nostrovia.
Amen. Thank you for having me on Pro White Male Leadership. And thank
Absolutely.
you, gentlemen and everyone, and black women. Y'all really need to have higher self-esteem And like Pro White said, everyone, whatever they said, it's jumped into my conclusion. And I opened up to a white man, and I've been happy and etc. And so it just debunked the value of no one wants you. You don't have to tolerate narcissists and fear of being alone, etc. Like they're pushing. White men want you. You don't need all white men to want you. You just need one white man to want you, and keep doing it and have self-esteem and know you are the most beautiful woman in the world. You are the most gifted with the best skin, the best body, the best versatile hair, and you are very feminine with the most estrogen. And do not let these cowards try to put you down to feel better about themselves because they're lesser than. And white men, thank you guys for actually being men and, you know, actually setting examples and being the most dominant in the world and having all these haters want to be you, even your own women. But yeah, and
Pretty
so
much.
good night, everyone.
Yes.
Good night.
Okay, so there will be a part 2 for this. I'm not sure what time that will be, but I'm waiting for somebody else very important that's going to also come up. I've already spoken to you about that, Brent, but I'm going to just
Yeah.
So yes, so so there's going to be a part 2 to this. So if you guys are available tomorrow, I'm not sure what time that's going to be, but I will definitely put it up early in the morning as soon as I find out.
Yeah, just send me an email. I'll be there.
Mhm.
I'm really encouraged to do this. Yeah, I got some things going on Sunday, but I'll work around this to be on that
No
live.
problem.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm going to have more private discussions because I'm only going to put certain things on YouTube, but the other private discussions, the real deep discussions that we have, that's going to have to be kept private. So that has to be kept private. So that's why I created the Patreon account. So this way, because there's certain things that we can't say on here.
yeah. Can I join that through your
Oh
channel?
yeah. Oh yeah,
Okay.
definitely. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, because I'd like to be a part of that. I've wanted to start one, but I just don't have time to do it to make it. But I'll be part of yours.
Okay.
Most
Yeah.
definitely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I'll send you a link, Brent. I just created it today.
Okay.
Oh yeah, because I'm starting to realize that I have to keep certain things with what I'm really trying to do, and to try to get more Black women dating out. So that has to be kept completely offline, and that has to be only private between certain people because it's all about perception, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt. But yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for having me on, and thanks for having this panel. This was fun tonight, and I want to thank the troll for coming in. Uh, I I think it would have been fun to pull him up on the panel and just listen to what he says.
I put the
Yeah.
link up there. So yeah, because all my lives, any live that I have, I would prefer you guys to be here. That's
Yeah.
how I prefer to have my lives. Because I think there needs to be more.
More
There
what?
needs to be more just more just conversations between us. But anyway, guys, I have to get out of here now. So yeah. Thank you guys for coming, and I enjoy the rest of your Saturday.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon.
No problem. Good night, guys.
Good
Safe
night.
and to be well.
All right. Have a good night.
Good night.